All right, you are welcome. This is Olalekan on the line. You are welcome to Practical Data Science with Python. This masterclass. So today we'll be looking at a Module 1 Introduction to Data Science. This is a foundational learning looking at basics, the fundamental of data science. So let's get started. So what is data science? Data science is the study of data, turning both structured and unstructured information into actionable insights using algorithms, systems, and tools. Now, we now have what is called semi-structured data, okay? But the course will not focus more on that semi-structure. That's why it's not a part of the diagram here. So we have been looking at both structured and unstructured data. Data science has grown into a critical multidisciplinary field, enabling everyone from researchers to entrepreneurs to extract insight from vast amounts of information. Someone may want to ask, why do we need to learn data science or even writing the codes when AI can generate all the coding? And that is a very important question. We must learn data science because AI is a generator, not a validator, not an architect, and not a scientist. So while AI tools can instantly generate lines of code or syntax, the core of data science lies on rigorous statistical validation, domain logic, and system debugging tasks that are impossible to execute effectively without baseline programmatic and algorithm literacy. There are a lot of risk. A lot of risk in just generating codes without understanding the background, the fundamentals of the code, of the language you are using. Nowadays, a lot of people want to deal with real data. Applying data science real life in their workplace and organizations, in their business, but they have the lack of understanding of the background of the fundamental of data science. So they were cheated because they don't know much. So whatever AI generate for them, that's what they take. So they don't know how to even control the AI because they don't know how to control even the code. They don't know what works, what does not work. Besides that, many people want to work in organizations that are reputable. Most of them are even remotely. They apply for the job. The job requires that you need to have the basics, the fundamental knowledge. They do the interview, they failed the interview, they couldn't get the job because they have to understand, even though they are aware that they are going to use AI to generate the code later, they expect you to know the fundamental to understand what you are doing. So many people do not know because AI generated could just give error prompts, give you idea. This is called blind prompting data. It's a blind prompting, right? Because you have no idea. That's what is called hallucinations. AI can confidently invent statistical methods or library functions that do not exist, leading to silent failures in your execution pipeline. That's one of them. In fact, you can have a flawed statistical logic. AI tools understand language patterns, not mathematical truth. And AI might mistakenly suggest a linear regression for highly nonlinear data or inappropriately handle missing variables, corrupting your downstream business metrics. In fact, security and leakage is one of the challenges as well because blindly running AI scripts can inadvertently expose sensitive data pipelines to memory leaks, security vulnerabilities, or training data contamination. So without coding literacy, you are effectively a pilot who doesn't know how to fly, entirely dependent on an autopilot autopilot to system that occasionally hallucinate the horizon. So what do you do? So you must understand that it is important for us to understand the basics of data science. Data science is very broad. Yeah, it's very broad. So we're going to be looking at a different perspective. We basically have three pillars, right? Three pillars of data science, right? We have computer science, which is the building block or building the system that make it work. We have mathematics and statistics, which is deal with modeling and inference. We have domain expertise, deals with context that makes insight matter. So what are we talking about here? The three pillars slide we are seeing here frame science, data science, as sitting at the intersection of three distinct set skills. So the computer science we are talking about is actually the engineering side, writing codes, working with database, handling data at scale, building pipelines. Is what actually gets data from raw form into something usable. Everything that our Moodle 1 and 2 will cover later. Math and statistics is one of them. And this is the analytical rigor, knowing why a p-value, for example, means what it means. Why you check assumptions before you trust a test. How to fit a model correctly. This is essentially our part 2 and 3 of the course we are going to look at. Everything from module 6, which is a hypothesis test, through module 14, which evaluating metrics. We will see them later. And also, we have what they call domain expertise, which I just explained now, is knowing the actual subject matter well enough to know which questions are worth asking, which findings are surprising versus expected, and whether a statistically significant result is actually meaningful in the real world. A model can actually be technically flawless and still useless if it is answering the wrong question for the business. So the three circles you are that overlaps here to form data science, in the middle, we need some fluency in all three, not mastery of just one. No. The slide scholar specifically flags domain expertise as the pillar people most often skip, with particular note. If you are missing it yourself, the fix isn't to ignore it. It's to partner closely with someone who has it. For example, a data scientist working with a doctor on a healthcare model, a marketer on a churn model, a businessman working with a business analysis. So this is a deliberately reassuring framing for beginners. So we need to understand that this is what it focused on. But looking at data science life cycle, we have data collection, okay, gathering relevant data from various sources. We have pre-processing, clean, and wrangle data for analysis. We have EDA, okay, which may allow a lot to explore relative data analysis, to explore our visualize, to find relationship between our data. We have machine learning parts, which are going to come to later. So the different section from down. Also, we have building predictive decision-making models, and we have visualization, which communicate patterns to stakeholders. So what raw data look like, for example? Let's look at a small relative example here before any cleaning. We see our customer ID here from 1001C, 1001 to 106. We have age, we have region, we have purchase in dollars, we have churn. Okay, so all this was a sample of data. But looking at the data now, we have a missing age. Okay, already in the row 3, missing age. We have ambiguous NA value in row 6. All right, not available. We have a $0 purchase. All right, which is either can be real or can be an error. We need to check. So it's possible to be real, and it's also possible to be an error. All right. So categorical fit, region or chunk that needs encoding later. So that needs to be encoded. So this is exactly the kind of data set Module 2 will be dealing with. We are going to be loading and cleaning which we will be handling. Right, so from data to insight, from even a quick aggregation of our sample reveals a pattern worth asking about. Right, this is EDA in miniature. Aggregate average purchase per region. You can see our chart there. Visualize. We have a bar chart, makes the gap obvious. Question: why is East so far ahead? That question is where module 6 and 7 will going to be pick up from. So let's say our statistical test, we'll be looking at parametric and non-parametric tests as we journey gradually. Right. So why this matter? Why this matters? We have what they call decision making, okay, which means providing precise information for strategic planning and informed future goals. We have what they call efficiency, pinpoints operational inefficiency, enabling better resource allocation. We have competitive advantage, helps businesses innovate and outperform by spotting new opportunities. We have risk management, identifies and mitigates potential threats before they impact the business. So there are many areas of application of data science nowadays, not just for so many areas, but at least from few of them are business, customer segmentation, data demand for forecasting. We have finance, we have fraud detection, algorithmic trading, we have healthcare, disease prediction, personalized medicine, we have e-commerce, recommendation systems, supply chain optimization, and so on. All right. So there are several types of data analysis that has evolved over time now. We have many of them. So they are different. So they answer different questions. Different questions call for different kind of analysis. All right. So the first one is called descriptive, which is questioning what happened. This examines past and current data for patterns. We have what is called inferential. How did it happen? This draws conclusions about a population from a sample. We have what they call diagnostic. Why did it happen? Investigate the causes behind a trend. Predictive. This what might happen. Forecast future events from historical data. We have what they call prescriptive. What should we do? This recommends the best next action. And we have deterministic, which is modern, new, which is that will determine which one is better. Is it this or this? Which is evaluating rule-based outcomes. We have generative, which what is new? Create novel synthetic content or data, right? And so on. So these are type of analysis we have nowadays. All right. So I'm going to be looking at them later. And we have in the course, we divided into 3 sections. We have part 1, part 2, part 3. Part 1 focus on the foundations. Chapter 1 to 5, clean, explore, and describe data. Part 2 focus on statistics in part. So statistical inferences. We have test whether the relationship are real. We are going to be having hypothesis and so on. The machine learning is the last part, building evaluate method. So we also have other bonus parts which are case studies we'll be discussing later. So let's look at the content in view. We have number 1, we have introduction to data science, what data science is, and when to use it. All right, we have data loading and cleaning. So the 5 issues checklist for messy rework data. We have exploratory data analysis, EDA, distribution, relationship, and reading what we use. We have discrete statistics, mean, median, and spread, how outliers distort them. Probability and distributions, the normal curve, and testing whether data fits in. So we're going to look at this one briefly in part 1. Then in part 2, we're going to look at the statistical inference, test whether the relationship are statistically real, not just visually suggestive. Parametric tests, such as a t-test, ANOVA, the assumption behind them. We're going to look at a non-parametric test, rank-based alternatives for when those assumptions fails, when they are not met. We have correlation and regression from Are they related to can I predict it? We have case study where we're looking at the HRM practices. We work through project of Likert scale on how HRM practices affect organizational performance. That will be a full case study, starting from data collection, data analysis, data wrangling. They're looking at hypothesis development, answering hypothesis questions, and drawing conclusions. So we're going to look at them step by step. And part 3, looking at machine learning, building models that predict, learn to judge honestly whether they are good enough. So we're going to look at the introduction to machine learning, supervised, non-supervised learning, and the workflow, supervised learning, training, validation test, cross-validation, bias, false variance, classification, logistic regression, KNN, SVM, decision trees, and so on. That we're going to be having neural networks added to it, regression, ridge, lasso, and random forest. Unsupervised learning, K-means, clustering, and PCA. Evaluation also is the model evaluation. We have ROC curves, AUC, and matching metric to real cost. Look at the deep learning and neural networks, what inside a neural network honestly assessed. Okay, end-to-end project, you're going to do a walkthrough of all what you have covered using a project, every stage, one pipeline, start to finish. So we go through all them using a case study, and we conclude. So in recap now, data science turns social and social data into actionable insight. The rest on 3 pillars: computer science, math and statistics, domain expertise. Every project follows the same life cycle: collect, clean, explore, model, and communicate. Different questions call for different types of analysis, from descriptive to prescriptive and to generative. So I'm going to be looking at all this one. So in the next class, we look at coding part of what we are discussing now, how data is imported and how it's cleaned. You look at different way of imputation, how to impute our data and so on. So we look at those ones in the next class. So thank you for watching and listening. I'll see you in the next class. Bye for now.